you are listening to or watching What's the Tea? My name is Lydia.
My name is Andy.
And basically, we are two former support workers navigating adulting life over a cuppa. But we are no way in an expert. Isn't that right, Andy?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you see our group chats. Andy, we have a special episode today. Would you like to introduce our special episode?
So today we are sitting down for a chat with our maintenance manager, Steve, as well as chatting all things maintenance. We also talk what he got up to before joining the Y. We talk Hoovers, we talk God, and lots more. Look out for Lydia's face when stories are told about toilets.
Yay. So yeah, it was an absolute pleasure to sit down with Steve, our wonderful maintenance manager. So enjoy.
Steve?
Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Now, very well, I've just called you Steve, and we've probably referred to you as Steve in any intro to this.
Yeah.
So, could you introduce yourself? Tell us who you are and what is it you do, please?
What do I do for the YMCA or just generally in my life?
Preferably for the YMCA.
Okay.
I don't know if we've got that.
Yeah.
That's that length of time for that.
Perfect. My name is Steve Lawton, and I am the facilities manager for YMCA Exeter / Paynton, Torbay, as well.
Everywhere else.
Yeah.
Would you mind just kind of briefly explaining kind of what does that entail?
Yeah. So I think I'm always learning what it entails as time goes on. But for the most part, it means looking after all of the YMCA buildings, so bricks and mortar stuff. So the physical places that YMCA do their work. So that includes all the residential stuff, but also a community centre, some office buildings, and all of that kind of stuff. So mostly making sure that everything is working and isn't broken, and also the boring stuff, which is like the compliance to make sure everything's health and safety ready and fire safe and all of those kind of things. So lots of checking and making sure everything is ticking all the right boxes.
So lots of fixing as well as lots of making sure things are safe.
Yeah. And a lot of spreadsheets.
I was going to say, that sounds like a lot of paperwork.
Yeah, a lot of dates, a lot of collating information and that kind of stuff, yeah.
So how did you get here then, in terms of your role, not in life?
Yeah, on a bike.
Yeah, or physically. How did you get here in terms of your role within YMCA Exeter?
Hey, that is a good question. So I've worked in supported housing for probably about 13 years, I would say, something like that. I started doing youth work and then wanted to be a bit more proactive. So then I got a job working with young offenders in a young offenders project, which was wild, but really worthwhile and really helpful, really good stuff. And in that kind of project, it's very, very small. So you had to have quite a few different hats and look after lots of different stuff. That was really great, but that was a charity funded place that eventually the money kind of withdrew, so I had to move on from there. And then I've worked at lots of other kind of schemes, so kind of broader schemes where we had lots of accommodation, mostly for adults, kind of entrenched homeless people, and then smaller charities that have been just around homelessness for young people. And then I worked at another building here in Exeter, and I had some children, which takes up a lot of time. It changes like how you can do things and how much you can invest, perhaps from a time perspective, and how much of yourself you can invest. So I was doing lots of on-calls and coming out at night and all of that kind of stuff, which sort of seems quite full on. So I was looking for something else. And actually, before I worked in supported housing, I worked with my dad on building sites, and we used to fit heat recovery ventilation systems. Very exciting. So I had some kind of practical knowledge, and I've done bits and pieces of that. And in the smaller charities I worked at, you had to do a little bit of that anyway, because there wasn't anyone else around. So I actually messaged the YMCA because they had some jobs, and I said, I'd like a job there, but probably not the ones you've got at the moment, because that doesn't quite work out. So, and I met with Si, one of the CEOs, and he said, oh, well, we have got this other job that you might be interested in, which I didn't think I would at the time. And he convinced me that I would.
Si's great like that, isn't
Yeah.
Very good.
And I've started doing that. So I've been here for about 3.5 years, I think, which has been great. It's like a bit of a learning curve because there's lots of new things to learn, but it's still within the environment that I really enjoy being around, which is, working towards everyone having safe places to live, people being assisted, but perhaps need some assistance at particular points in life. So it still feels like I'm doing a bit of that, but from a more practical perspective.
Awesome.
So you mentioned that you've worked for a lot of charities and organisations. What's one thing, if you could pick one thing that you love the most about YMCA?
Oh, that's a lovely off-script question.
I like it. Can I be spiritual?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say that the inclusion of a faith element makes a massive difference. I've worked at quite a few different projects, and even it's stuff you can't really describe. I think at the YMCA we pray in the mornings. We have some time to get together as staff and do some like spiritual development stuff on a regular basis, which makes a massive difference to the atmosphere, I think. And some of the places I've worked have felt like quite heavy sorts of places, or quite like dark sorts of places, which is really hard to describe to people. But it's just a sense that you get, I think. And it feels like here, because those like building blocks are in place, I think that it just makes the atmosphere different. And it means that, I don't know, it just seems more hopeful, which is the stuff you can't really put down on your funding bids, but it does make a massive difference. So I really appreciate that. It helps me as a person, but also I think it makes a massive difference to just how things work and the environment that people are brought into.
This is potentially going to change the path of the podcast.
Okay.
What's the strangest repair request you've ever had? The kind that's made you question humanity in it.
You went there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Within the YMCA or just in general?
In general, why not?
I can give you a couple of really gross things.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, cleaning toilets is always like a high one on the list of like gross things to do. But I once worked at a project where they'd run out of toilet roll, so they just used newspaper for quite a long time, and then newspaper doesn't flush very well. So there was a toilet full of lots of different things that had to go and unblock, and the only way to do it was to scoop it all out.
Oh!
Yeah. And as I was scooping it out, I also pulled out a mirror.
Sorry, what?
A mirror. Like a little mirror in there as well. So I don't know what that was used for, but I'm sure that wasn't helpful.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that is weird. Yeah.
That was pretty bad. The ones I really love is when someone says, "Oh, something's not working. Oh, it's really bad. I need to get this thing sorted out." And you can just go in and you find a switch that's been turned off, and you can just click it. So they're often a bit weird because you're not quite sure how they've got to this situation. But then you do feel really good about yourself to be able to just
You can just walk in,
sort it out straight away.
press the button, job done, right?
I can imagine you're a bit like, oh no, so it's not working, and you're in your head thinking timelines and who you're going to have to call, and then just to go in and just be like, oh, it's just turning on a switch. You're just like, oh, we should do all job requests. Like that.
Exactly.
If you could teach every young person one simple maintenance skill,
Yes.
which would possibly save them grief later, what would that be?
I think like simple things are really good to know. How to change a light bulb, how to turn your water off if the water was running and you really needed to stop it for some reason. Those are all really useful things. But I think if I was going to teach someone something, it would be how to paint a wall really nicely, because I feel like we've seen quite a few places where people have had a go at painting, and then we have to undo what's been done before being able to start again. And my dad taught me how to paint when I was young-ish, I guess, when I painted my room, and I think that's a really helpful skill. And if no one teaches you that, then how would you know how to do it? And it seems like a really straightforward thing to do, but actually you can make a lot of mess. You can make life much more difficult for other people afterwards. So how to paint a room would be a really good skill to learn, I think. So that would be what I'd try and teach people.
Yeah. I guess there's like nothing worse than just staring at a wall that you can clearly see has been painted. Do you know what I mean? And you can see all the lines and it looks really bad. And I think it would just grate on me if I saw that and just be like, oh, that doesn't look,
Yeah, definitely. And paint's expensive now as well, so
Yeah.
you
I
know
would
you don't want to
say
do it wrong.
You and your team make it look easy though.
I mean,
Do you-
Embarrassingly easy.
effortless.
and I would say that is not down to me. That's mostly my team.
Yeah, but I know it's not that easy.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that
No.
effortless. So,
Definitely.
yeah. Is there a job that you secretly enjoy doing because it really satisfies you?
Yes, I love hoovering.
Really?
It's like my favorite thing. Yeah, if I can hoover at home, I'll get the hoover out and do. It's so satisfying because it's a really simple job, but you can see instant results. So it feels really great to do. So yeah, when someone's off sick and the hoovering needs to be doing, then I'm very happy to do some hoovering.
Wow.
And we've got some really nice hoovers.
Yeah, I know.
So
Do you know they've now got wireless Henry Hoovers?
Wait, what?
yeah,
Yeah, wireless.
We didn't have anything like that back in my.
I know.
Yeah.
In your day, you're sounding old, Andy.
we're living the dream here, the maintenance dream.
Whoa.
I know. I saw this and I was like, this looks
We
amazing.
didn't have anything like that back in your day.
They're very new.
True, but
That means you're now old.
no, but the way you said it made you sound old.
Yes, but now you're also old.
I am old, yeah.
I do love a good hoover.
Yeah.
Mm.
Thank you, Steve, for bringing us back on point.
Yeah.
But in terms of a Hoover,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
What kind of things do you need to look for a good Hoover? Because some people, I've made this mistake before. I'm like, oh, this Hoover will do, and it doesn't do anything.
Perhaps that has.
Yeah.
So, what makes a good Hoover a good Hoover
Well,
or vacuum?
yeah. I mean, not to get into product placement or anything like that, but we have tried quite a lot of cordless hoovers, and they haven't really worked out particularly well. So a stick cordless hoover, especially for anything larger scale, maybe just in your flat, it might probably okay. We even have a Henry stick like cordless hoover here, but it's not that good. So I think stick to something that's really decent. Don't pay loads of money for a Dyson because it's not that much better. But we tend to use Henry hoovers, which are very good, and you get a really nice cordless one. Still like the big Henry Hoover, but just without a plug.
On the subject
Very,
of
very
product
nice. And
placements,
other Hoovers are available, I'm sure.
other Hoovers are indeed available. But if any Hoover manufacturers would like to sponsor us,
Oh yeah.
please get in touch.
Yes.
At what's for tea at ymcx.org.uk.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're always trying to plug sponsors.
Nice.
So you mentioned, obviously, being on call previously.
Mm-hmm.
You are on call at times for some of our properties in terms of maintenance on call.
You're also the person who arranges stuff to be fixed.
Yeah.
For something to be fixed, it needs to be broken.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the most chaotic moment that you've had, and how did you stay calm?
I don't know that we've had that many chaotic moments. Obviously, our work is all very planned and precise and organised, so it doesn't get into chaos that often.
But you said not that much.
Yeah, I can't think of a particularly terrible thing. I think the tricky part is just when you make lots of plans to do stuff and then things go wrong at the same time. So then you've agreed to go and help somebody move out of a room, and then someone over here has an issue with their water, so you have to quickly head over there, or something like that. Probably the most chaotic ones is when you can't suss out what the issue is. So if there's an issue with hot water, for example, and you've tried all the stuff and it doesn't seem to work, and then you get somebody in and then it does seem to work at that time, but then when they leave, it doesn't work again. So the things that I don't really like, that I would say, get a bit chaotic, are when you can't really pin down exactly what's happening, so you can't fix it, and then you feel like you're letting people down. Which we do get lots of requests for Wi-Fi, which I don't really know anything about. It's very mysterious to me, and I don't even know. I don't know if anyone knows anything about Wi-Fi and how it works. It is magic, and sometimes the magic doesn't work.
It's just there
Yeah,
in this atmosphere.
and that can be very frustrating.
Yeah.
No comment.
So just on that though, when you are getting frustrated, and I guess you worry that you're letting other people down.
Yeah.
How do you stay on task? How do you keep, your perspective in check? Because as someone that has been a people pleaser, and sometimes that can be my tendency, and worry about people letting people down.
Same.
It can get me to the point of overthinking, and then distract me from what I need to do.
Yeah.
So I guess how do you stay on point? How do you not let that run away with itself?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think for me, it's much easier doing maintenance than it is doing support stuff. I think when I was more in that world, because there's not necessarily black and white. There's a lot of like kind of grey in the middle. You could do this, you could do that. Whereas fixing stuff generally is, these are the things that can go wrong. These are the ways to fix them. Sometimes it's a bit confusing because it doesn't quite fit into that mold, but you generally can work it out, or you can stop the issue while you work it out. So I think from that point of view, I think I've got enough knowledge-based confidence. Is that a thing?
Yeah. I don't know, face confidence. Yeah.
To know, okay, what could go wrong, so therefore what can we do about it? And I think YMCA have done a pretty decent job with having systems in place to deal with things as they come up. I feel like I'm quite a calm person generally.
Yeah.
I drink a lot of tea, so if I'm like getting a little bit overwhelmed, I'll just make some tea.
Okay.
Drink some tea. Usually that kind of gives a bit of
Steve's
perspective.
big tip for stress is drink tea.
Tea.
I
What
like
kind of tea,
Yeah.
most importantly?
Well, I only drink decaf tea now because I'm old. Okay. I do quite like talking about tea if you want to stay there.
Well, we could.
Just quickly, on that tea note,
Oh, yeah.
do you like herbal tea?
No,
Oh.
it's not real.
No, it's not real.
No,
It's not real.
It's not real
Pretty
tea,
sure
is
it's
it?
real, Steve.
It's not real tea, is it? It's like a different drink, which is acceptable if it was in a different class, but because it's still called tea.
So what would you call it
Not
if you
sure.
could rebrand it?
herbal drink.
Herbal drink.
Herbal
Flavoured
water.
flavoured water, maybe. Yeah.
Water with a touch of herbs.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
But we could go back onto the tea subject
Sorry.
because we're about to talk money.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I know Mason's facilities budget.
Oh, and just to clarify, we're not about to
Basically-
give you money.
No.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry to set that up.
Shame.
Because of what it is you do.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be quite an interesting size at times. But if it could be unlimited,
Yeah.
totally unlimited,
Mhm.
what one upgrade would you make tomorrow for any of the YMCA Exeter buildings?
Ooh. What one upgrade would I make?
And you know what? Let's go even further. If planning permission
Wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've got building projects going on at the moment. So one thing that would be really great is to clap your hands and those will be done, because things take time. Planning permission takes time, and all the regulatory stuff takes time. So it'd be nice just to have stuff online and ready to go once you decided that that's what you're going to do.
So instant buildings?
Yeah,
Okay.
instant buildings, that'd be great. Probably, I think at the moment, what personally, and I think from a YMCA ethos perspective, would just be making it everywhere really energy efficient. So having solar panels everywhere, having like heat pump boilers, just doing stuff to make everything much more efficient. So it saves money. So that saves money for people and for a charity, but also because I feel like that's probably the right thing to do in the long run. So energy efficiency.
Okay. That's a very nice answer.
I was expecting tea machine.
Yeah. A very nice answer. Now,
Okay.
if you were to be selfish,
Yeah.
to make your job
Yeah.
easier or just to make
Yeah.
your life more enjoyable
Yeah.
at work,
Yeah.
what would that upgrade be?
Lifts.
Well, one thing that would be really handy is if every building that we had was next door to each other. So that would be pretty good. I don't know that would work from a support point of view, and whether that would be even good for people. But from my point of view, I do sometimes spend quite a lot of time just driving around, which from an energy efficiency point of view is probably not great. So yeah, just we can make our own
tunnel system.
Yeah, or we can make our own little neighbourhood, maybe. Something
YMCA neighbourhood.
Yeah, well,
Nice
yeah.
ring to it.
that could be nice.
Yes.
And then we could have our own TV series like Neighbours.
Underground tunnels.
Yeah, underground passages. Which
Yeah.
there are some. We can just extend them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think they're protected.
Okay.
And they say I'd start.
I would
Yeah.
personally go for the tunnels over the
Yeah.
neighbourhoods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could have our own little tube system.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, that'd be nice.
So you're talking about making your life easier. What is one habit that residents that live at YMCA Exeter could adopt that would make your life dramatically easier?
When you do your washing in a washing machine, just check if you've got anything in the pockets. You might have some fluff. You might have a tissue. You might have some, I don't know, cigarette papers. You might
Coins.
have coins. You might have a toothpick.
Has he started
You might
fixing?
have
Feel that's just
anything like that. And all of those things potentially could get stuck somewhere in the washing machine and mean it doesn't work. So then someone has to come out, open the filter, drain out all the water, pick out any tiny little thing and get it going again. So if that didn't happen, that would be great.
Great. Fantastic. There you go. You heard it here, folks, guys. Make sure you empty those
No
pockets.
judgment here, but
No.
it would just make
Well,
my life slightly
And also,
easier.
it does damage the machine as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, it
So
shortens the
that's,
life
you
of a
know,
machine,
yeah.
and it makes life more complicated. So normally you can just open the little filter and take it out. Sometimes if it's something bigger, it gets stuck, and then you have to turn the washing machine over and take the whole thing apart.
Oh wow.
So yeah, just checking you don't put other stuff other than your washing in a washing machine. That would make my life a little bit easier.
Yeah. Do you know what's my little pet peeve on that? Is tumble dryers.
Oh yeah.
People do not clean the fluff filter.
Yes.
And it's just like, people, I don't want, if I'm tumble drying some whites, I don't want to be covered in black fluff.
I sort of understand it in that
So people don't do it.
in that unless you know when you go to a washing machine, actually,
Yeah.
unless you know, it becomes like a thing where at best you put clothes in, you put the kind of cleaning stuff in, you select the option, and actually that's a really good job. That's a good job, well done doing that.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
unless you know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's like painting a wall, isn't it? Like we were saying, you know, if
But
no
this
one's
is-
ever
this-
taught you.
I know, this is probably coming from my times of house sharing with people
Yeah.
that were told frequently about the fluff filter.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm starting to think that we've kind of started to unpick both your nerves.
Exactly,
a
yeah.
little bit.
Some trauma around washing machines.
It's not that bad, but you know, it would just be easier.
Yeah, it would make my life easier.
What repair
Mm.
or project or thing from a
Mhm.
maintenance point of view that you've been involved with
Mhm.
are you particularly proud of? And I guess bonus
Ooh.
points if it's something so subtle that no one's really kind of
What would I say? I mean, we have a really good team of people that work with us, so I'm always
you can
amazed
shout out
by
the one
how
team
much
for this.
they do. So yeah, Sarah and Tim and Max and Jonathan and Ian and Damien as well, who's on our team, all do a really good job. And yeah, sometimes they'll go and do stuff. And when we talk about things that are happening around the YMCA, often I am the person that people come and talk to, and sometimes the one who people come back to and say, "Wow, Steve, that was a great job." And the reality is I have very little to do with the actual doing of the job. So yeah, props to them for doing all the good work. But I think that like the ones that really make a difference are the ones that you can kind of see, I think. The side office at St David's being changed around, it looks really nice.
yeah.
The middle office, just making spaces that perhaps weren't very used or usable before into spaces that are really used and people like to be in them, and they make a bit of a difference to the buildings. Those are the ones I really enjoy.
Nice.
No, to be fair, so we had an ex-staff member come back from her travels, and she saw the side office, and she was just like, "This is amazing." Showed her the middle office, and she was just like, "Why wasn't this here when I was here?" But yeah, so for those listening at home, you're probably like, "What's middle office? What's side office?" So there are meeting rooms that we meet with our young people, predominantly at St David's Hill, and they were disgusting beforehand. Like they,
I would say no, we're not discussing.
I think they were compared to what they are now.
Not discussing.
Compared to what they are now, they were disgusting.
They were very functional.
No, mixed match furniture. Residents didn't like them. Staff didn't like them. And now our wonderful facilities team have smashed it out of the park as they usually
So
do.
very much being brought up to 2025.
Yeah.
They're being modernised.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah, and it's not even.
Wouldn't say they
And some people will be like, "Oh, that's just redecorating," which one of them was. But the side office, a wall got extended, windows got taken out, soundproofing got put in, a new door, and that was all done within
Yeah.
your team.
Yeah.
That wasn't contracted out.
Yeah.
So yeah, phenomenal
Yeah,
job.
and that makes a big difference. And we can do it ourselves, so then we save lots of money. So it makes a big difference. And the other thing I really enjoy is getting rid of rubbish. I feel like we always have loads of stuff around, and you don't really notice it until you start to get rid of stuff, or you say, "Oh, we're gonna get a skip and clear some stuff," and then all of a sudden, "Oh, this garden's really clear," or "This room that was full of things that no one knew what they were is now really clear." So I really enjoy getting rid of stuff.
I've got a list of stuff
That you want to get rid of.
Yeah.
Yes, you almost fell over some of it on the way here. Yeah.
What tool could you absolutely not live without,
Mhm.
as in an actual tool,
Yeah.
but you can mention people that are an asset to you?
Well, I obviously couldn't do my job without my team, so that is essential. But practically, so if you see me walking around, I normally have a backpack on, and in my bag I have a screwdriver with like changeable heads, so all the different heads that you can get, and I've selected the ones that get used the most that are just in the bottom. And most of the time, if there's a short-term issue that you need to do something about, that will get me through. A screwdriver, a little electrical screwdriver, and a pair of pliers and a bit of electrical tape. Oh, there's one really good tool that we have that we use quite a lot, which you might not have at home, but is like a long stick with little like pokey bits on that you poke down a drain and pull stuff out. That is like invaluable. So yeah, that's another one. I've got one of those in my bag as well. Is there anything we don't really use? Anything painting related that's not just a roller or a brush? Anything that says it's going to mean you get like really straight lines, or some device that helps you to like paint a ceiling or something, never really works. Just a roller and a brush.
So
Yeah.
To know.
right. Let's talk life outside of maintenance.
Is there life outside of maintenance?
Do you have any unexpected skills?
Unexpected skills.
Yeah, something that someone doesn't know, like maybe a talent, skill.
I don't know. Well, it depends what you're expecting, I guess. What can I do? I used to be able to juggle quite well, but not so much anymore. Need to practice regularly for that. I did have a short-lived career as a spoken word poet for a little while. It was actually the first time I came to Exeter was because I got booked to do a show in Exeter at the Bike Shed Theatre with a guy called Roger Robinson. He's a pretty amazing British poet. So I did that for a little while. I've got an album and some other little bits and stuff. So yeah, I've done some things.
Yeah.
But it takes quite a lot of time and headspace, which I haven't had quite so much of in recent years. Haven't done so much lately, but it is still a thing that always draws me back. I think there's like loads of power in unlocking the inside and trying to get it outside, and writing, whether that's poetry or journals or stories or anything like that, is always a really good way to kind of get that stuff out. And I've seen that be really helpful to people, especially from a support perspective, working with young offenders. It's really amazing to be able to like kind of unlock some stuff in that way, and sometimes have a platform to be able to like say stuff like stories that people haven't heard or might not get to hear. I think it's a really powerful thing to do. So yeah, I'm a strong believer in that, which I think is really great.
Yeah.
If I had more time, I would probably do a bit more of that.
So, for those that don't know, what is spoken word poetry?
What is spoken word poetry? Is this spoken word poetry? Probably not. But I think that people are really poetry is like has seemed like quite an exclusive kind of thing. Like you have to be a bit educated or you have to read stuff, but it's quite difficult to access sometimes. And spoken word was kind of a genre of that, which fused together some other things from like hip hop culture and like storytelling and those types of things into a form of poetry that's not necessarily just written down, but it's meant to be spoken. So if you read it, it doesn't perhaps read as well as it sounds when you speak it. So it's a way of like kind of projecting what you've written, I guess. So it has elements of writing, but also has elements of performance as well.
Nice.
It's kind of cool. It's a bit niche.
Yeah. Well, for someone that has heard you, Steve, you are very, very talented. So if anybody wants to book Steve for a show or a concert, contact One Sexter. On the note, just quickly, outside of work, most of my questions have been off script, so Andy's like worried what's going to come from my mouth. As in the list of questions. So you do everything maintenance, obviously day to day, because it's your job. Do you sometimes just like when you go home and something needs to be fixed, you just go off like you're done because you do it all day and that's on your brain?
No, I love fixing stuff.
Oh, okay.
But also because my job is like overseeing stuff quite often, so a lot of the time I don't actually get to do some of the fixy stuff. So actually I quite enjoy going home and fixing something, and I've learned a few things as well. So what tends to happen is when something breaks and you call someone out to do it, like an expert, then you watch them do it, and then the frustrating part sometimes can be like, oh, I probably could have just done that myself. I knew what to do. So I always try as much as possible to be very observant when we get people out, so then we can save money in the future, but also then I know how to do stuff in the future and our team knows how to do stuff. So it makes everything work a little bit smoother. So I quite enjoy learning something and then being able to do it. And so that's quite nice.
Great.
Yeah.
Do you want to ask the last question? Because this is the best question, I think.
Ooh.
If the maintenance team had a tagline, like in a movie,
Yeah.
what would that tagline be?
What would it be? I'm trying to think of something Sarah would say. If it was me, it'll probably be, yes, I'll get to that. Which is usually quite a good catch-all for things, which leaves me a bit of room to maneuver. And I feel like it should be something more positive though, like we can do it, or something like that, but I can't think of anything snappy off the top of my head that would work well.
It's very Bob the Builder.
I know, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like your team, like, in a sense, like, can they fix it? Yes, they can.
Yes, with a bit of electrical tape and a screwdriver.
One more. What would you tell your younger self?
Oh, yes. What advice would you give?
Oh my gosh. Don't do it. There's so many things. I was just talking to someone the other day actually about how it'd be really good if you could do life like 5 or 6 times, and then just to like see what would happen if you made certain decisions, because I feel like you make a choice and your life goes in one direction. Not that I'd want my life to go in a different direction, but just be interesting. What advice would I give? Don't worry so much. I think that's definitely what I would say, because I even now still worry about loads of stuff. I have some anxiety issues and all of that kind of thing, and half of the time the worry is the biggest thing rather than the thing, and once you get to the thing it's not as worrying as it should have been. So it's really hard to tell someone not to worry, because that is like you're just saying something that doesn't have any substance to it. But
it's like when someone's angry or upset and you say
don't be
calm
angry.
down.
Yeah. That is the worst thing.
It's not this helpful thing, is it?
Yeah, totally. So yeah, in some way, if I could communicate that, I would say don't worry so much.
That was us sat down with Mr. Steve Lawton, our facilities manager, and it was an absolute pleasure just to get to know him a bit more. And we definitely learned some things about him. But gosh, isn't he a talker? Wow, who would have thought it? Our Mr. Steve Lawton. So it does mean that unfortunately this episode we have run out of time for our favourite segment, which is Weird News. I know, I can hear you crying.
I think the toilet story probably counts as weird news. And then some.
Yeah. Anyway, so no weird news for you today.
Or for you today, Lydia. I'm sorry about that.
I know.
Thank you for listening and or watching to What's for Tea. Please don't forget to subscribe to us on your favourite podcast provider, or find us on the YMCA Exeter YouTube channel. Catch you next time.